Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're unpacking a really fascinating and honestly, an incredibly important topic today. I mean, we live in this era of unbelievable convenience, right? Literally everything we could possibly want is just a click, a short drive, or a microwavable minute away. But what if these super convenient modern lives of ours are actually hiding some unseen health costs? Today, we're breaking down 10 modern lifestyle habits that quietly pull us closer to cancer risks without us even realizing it. And this is all based on extensive medical research and international cancer prevention data.
Now I want to make this a bit interactive. As we go through this explainer, I want you to literally hold up your hands and keep a running tally on your fingers. I'm going to present 10 distinct habits. Be brutally honest with yourself here and count how many of these are a regular part of your daily life. At the end, we're going to calculate your score and look at some targeted advice. You ready? Get those fingers ready to count.
But hey, before we start tallying, I want to set the record straight and offer a little bit of reassurance. If you find yourself checking off several boxes today, please do not panic. Doing these things doesn't guarantee you'll get cancer. That is a really crucial distinction. What the medical research is actually showing us is that long-term, continuous exposure to these specific habits elevates your overall risk over time. So it's about cumulative exposure, not absolute destiny. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Hidden Modern Cancer Risks. The reality here is while we've optimized our lives for speed and comfort, we might have accidentally bypassed what our biology actually needs to stay healthy and fight off disease. So, moving into Section 2, Environment and Movement Pitfalls, we're going to look at 3 physical habits right off the bat, so get ready to start that tally. Habit number 1 is living in a major, bustling city. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it's not the city itself that's the enemy, but the hidden environmental factors. You know, you're constantly exposed to air pollution like PM 2.5, which is a known factor for lung cancer, but it actually goes way deeper. Cities are absolutely flooded with artificial light at night, and research shows this constant light exposure can disrupt your hormones, which elevates the risk of breast cancer. Combine that with a high concentration of fast food and convenience stores literally on every corner, and your environment is subtly pushing up your risk profile. So if you're a city dweller living this kind of lifestyle, go ahead and put one finger up.
Habit number 2 is an 8-hour sitting habit. If you sit for 8 or more hours a day, put a finger up. And here's the real kicker. Even if you go to the gym after work, sitting for that long is an independent health risk. Long periods of continuous sitting actively increase your cancer risk. If you're a desk worker, the absolute best thing you can do is just set a timer to stand up and move your body every single hour. You've got to break that sitting cycle.
Habit number 3 is zero exercise. If you completely avoid physical activity, add another to your tally. A total lack of movement is directly tied to an increased risk of colon, breast, and uterine cancers. But hey, the great news is you absolutely do not need to do intense, exhausting workouts to fix this. Simply incorporating a daily walk is all you need to start actively lowering those risks. Moving right along to Section 3, Diet and Vices Dangers. Let's take a look at what we're habitually consuming. I want you to picture a typical busy professional who skips breakfast, rushes to the office, grabs whatever is fastest for lunch, and then eats these super late dinners. That brings us to habit number 4, erratic meal timing. If this sounds like your schedule, definitely count it. We always hear about what we eat, right? But when we eat is just as critical. Erratic eating schedules drastically disrupt your blood sugar levels and throw your body's internal clock into absolute chaos. From a cancer prevention standpoint, stabilizing your meal times is a massive, massive win for your biology. Habit number 5 is the daily convenience diet. If your lunch usually comes wrapped in plastic from a convenience store, go ahead and add that to your tally. And this brilliantly illustrates that it's not that these foods are purely evil or anything, but eating them every single day means you're starving your body of essential vegetables and dietary fiber. Plus, you're overloading your system with excess energy and chemical additives that, over time, just create an environment where cancer risks climb. Cooking at home, even just a little bit more often, makes a huge difference. Habit number 6 might actually surprise you, and that's consuming sugary drinks regularly. You might be thinking, oh, it's just a sports drink, or I use artificial sweeteners, so I'm totally fine. Well, if you're in denial like the rest of us, add one to your tally. Research heavily links these sugary drinks, and yes, even artificially sweetened beverages, to higher cancer risks. The safest, most effective hydration strategy, just stick to plain water, unsweetened tea, or black coffee. Now let's look at habits 7 and 8, our daily vices. Habit 7 is smoking. This is the single most significant risk factor for multiple cancers. And remember, secondhand smoke counts too, so protecting your family is absolutely paramount. Count it if it applies to you. Habit 8 is drinking alcohol daily. Even small daily amounts elevate the risk of esophageal cancer. This is particularly dangerous for what we call flushers. If your face turns red or you get a racing heart when you drink, your risk skyrockets. So tally that up if it's a daily habit. Let's move to section 4, sleep and stress connection, and see how this builds. We're going to look at the crucial connection to our final 2 habits to complete your tally. Habit number 9 is a truly counterintuitive one. We all know sleep deprivation is terrible for our health, right? But if you regularly sleep more than 9 hours a night, count it. Surprisingly, medical studies show that excessively long sleep is actually linked to higher mortality rates and an increase in certain cancers. No way, right? So the ideal healthy zone is 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night, keeping any daytime naps under 30 minutes. The risk zone is sleeping over 9 hours, or, and this is a big one, taking midday naps that last longer than 2 hours. If you're taking massive 2-hour naps during the day, that surprisingly pushes you straight into a risk category for cancer. And finally, habit number 10, high mental stress. Go ahead and make your final tally if you're under chronic, heavy stress. Now, while stress alone doesn't instantly cause cancer, chronic stress absolutely wrecks your autonomic nervous system and disrupts your hormone balance. Worse, it triggers a total domino effect. Think about it. When you're stressed, you sleep poorly, you skip exercise, you drink more, and you eat terrible food. Stress is literally the engine that drives almost all the other bad habits we just covered. So the crucial point is, where do you stand? Let's move to section 5, your score and improvements. Go ahead and finalize your tally out of 10, and let's see what the medical experts suggest. All right, here is the scoring rubric directly from the doctor's data. If you scored between 0 and 2, congratulations, you have some very solid healthy habits protecting you right now. Keep it up. If you scored a 3 or a 4, don't overwhelm yourself. The advice here is to pick just one habit and improve them one by one. And if you scored a 5 or more, well, it's a clear signal that your environment and your routine are heavily skewed toward risk. But hear me clearly on this. It is not too late. The doctor's advice is simply to start changing right now. Your body is incredibly resilient when given the right conditions. I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it's just so deeply empowering. Lifestyle habits can be changed. Let's start keeping cancer away. You aren't permanently locked into your routines. Every single one of these 10 habits is behavioral. By making small, daily adjustments, like, standing up at your desk, taking a short walk, or swapping a sports drink for some green tea, you are actively pulling yourself away from these long-term risks. So, I'm going to leave you with this. Look down at your hands. Out of those 10 hidden habits, which one habit will you change today? You've got the knowledge now, and you have the power to alter your trajectory. Pick just one, tackle it today, and start rewriting your modern health story. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.